It's a pleasure being here with you this morning, and I think everybody has these big grins on their face because it was so cool and refreshing. Let's give it up for our Florida beautiful weather, huh? Yeah, all right. I just need to get you doing something to get that energy level up, because the three folks here, they're going to need all your energy because they're talking about marketing today, and we know it's probably the most exciting part of anyone's day, is kicking it off with a great marketing presentation or sales meeting first thing in the morning. How many of you do that? Right? You got an early morning presentation, 8 o'clock, 8:30, you pull out your laptops, you power them up, and you find out, oh, I didn't plug it in last night. Well, fortunately, that didn't happen to us. We've got three great presenters with all their information up in front on the screen, and they got their materials in early enough that you actually have their full presentations and can follow along this morning with the sheets that are on your table. There's a PowerPoint slide presentation there for you. So you'll be able to take that home with you today as well. All right, a couple of things that we need to remind you about is some of you have these really new, crazy devices. I think they're called cell phones, and some of them ring. Smartphones. Okay.
Smart.
Well, you'll want to put them on vibrate or turn them off or stun or something like that, just so that we don't interfere with our presentation today. Throughout the presentation, at any time, you can get up and refresh your coffee or juice or your plates with some delicious food. And don't forget, in the back of the room, there's actually fruit there for those of you that are eating healthy and stuff like that. Don't walk away without having some fruit this morning. All right, so we're ready to get started. We've got three presenters this morning. We're talking about these healthcare marketing strategies to improve your business. And we're going to start off this morning with our first speaker and my first introduction. Donna Loader. Donna, I've known you for a long time. Well, here it goes. Donna's been in the finance and banking business for over 30 years, whether it was residential, commercial, and business lending. She's analyzed credit. She's created business plans, assessed strengths and weaknesses of people and companies requesting these credit lines, loans, and working capital. You have to be a people person to do that, and she certainly is. She currently is using that experience to help small businesses make wise choices in today's ever-changing market. She offers workshops as an authorized business partner and trainer with Constant Contact, and is a certified expert in email marketing, social media marketing, and mobile marketing. She offers advanced training workshops using Constant Contact, and her seminar topics, I think you'll find them interesting: going mobile, 3 keys to email marketing, QR codes that make you money, and a QR code is?
Quick response.
Quick response code. I'm going to start talking about that with my customers. Engage your audience and win, and social media made simple. I'm going to have to talk to you about that one. I'm not so sure anybody can make it simple. All right, but Donna can. She serves on the board of directors of Natasha's Mission of Truth, has served as president of the Sanford Rotary. Go Rotary. How many fellow Rotarians are here today? Great. Always good to see you folks. She's a member of the Greater Sanford Regional Chamber and has served for 9 years on the Salute to Freedom Bike Ride Planning Committee benefiting the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida. Please give a warm welcome to Donna Loader, President. Thanks. And I forgot to mention her name, President of Royal Support Services. All right, so next up, we've got Kim Reif. Kim, I think I've known you just as long as I've known Donna, but it's because he's a 33-year veteran in the advertising industry with a background in Billboard, newspaper, direct mail advertising. Kim has a well-rounded view of many options that are available to medical offices as they look for effective advertising choices. So he worked for Valpak in Cincinnati for 13 years, from 1980 to 93, where he was a direct mail specialist, helping all types of small and medium-sized businesses, including a variety of medical practitioners. He also spent 12 years at the Orlando Sentinel, from 96 to 2008, working with businesses using the combination of the print media, the direct mail, to the non-newspaper subscribers. Most recently, as where he brings his expertise to us today, he works for Clear Channel Outdoor in Orlando as an account executive. He's been with Clear Channel since 2008, again working with the same small to medium-sized businesses, has a passion for delivering results for his customers, and he really is knowledgeable on all of the traditional media, as well as, of course, today's technology, the online media. Please give a warm welcome, Kim Reif. Now, Michelle, we haven't known each other very long, and she was quite surprised that I don't watch TV. That's where I would have come to know her. Michelle Burdo, she's a professional news anchor, a media strategist, media trainer, and motivational speaker. As a professional news anchor, she had been working with all kinds of companies, NBC, ABC, Fox News, and Good Morning America. Now Michelle is sharing her on-camera secrets with business owners across the nation. She shows entrepreneurs how to connect with their customers to create a video library that showcases their expertise. Do you know what to say when the red light goes on? As a media strategist and trainer, she's dedicated to helping entrepreneurs get more out of their media exposure for their business. She spent 10 years in the front line of history, reported on Hurricane Katrina, Election Night 2008, NASA's final launch, and court trials that have rocked the nation. She's seen firsthand how media opens doors, and now she's on a mission to open those doors for business owners across the nation, and we get to hear from this expert today. Again, please give a warm welcome, Michelle Burdo. Without further ado, we're going to kick things off. Donna Loader's up first. Donna, please, get us rocking and rolling today.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Do that. You know, when you get old, you've done a lot of things. It just takes a long time to tell it all. So, Hank, you did a nice job. Email marketing is not dead. People say email is going to go away. It's not going to go away. We look for emails that we can delete, right? You sit down at your email. What do you want to do? You want to clean it up. I would like to share with you some ideas of when you're doing email marketing, be the one they remember. Okay? So we're going to take some notes. If you have any questions, hang on to them. I'm sure we'll have a question and answer period. I normally take about 4 hours to do this presentation. So what we're going to do is cover a lot quickly. I will say, if you would like to have the full presentation, because there's best practices, there's a lot of things that I had to kind of excerpt or redact, let's use that word. And so I would be glad to take your business card and get you that. Let's just go ahead. Who is this woman? Obviously, Hank told you a lot about me. I would like to share with you why I went from banking to email marketing, mobile marketing, social marketing. I retired from banking in 2005 with a pretty healthy 401k. Does it tell anybody the story? When the 401k became a 201k and a 101k and a half K, I said, I got to do something. And at that point, I was over 55, and my daughter was talking to some other young, relevant women one day, and they were talking about someone else. But I owned this. They said, these over 55 women with their relevant skill sets. I went, that hurt. When you want to be viable, you stay up with what's going on. Because business is changing quickly, we need to be aware of what's happening. I've been a constant contact customer since 2005. In 2007, I associated myself with a solution provider. Back then, we were known as business partners. And since last year, when they created an expert program, I have been authorized and asked by Constant Contact to do presentations all over the country. So it's fun. It is relevant. I'm not an old, antiquated archive anymore, and I can walk circles around my daughter with certain things. So I'm really pleased about that. Kathy can relate to that. She knows my daughter. Like me. How many of you hear that term? We cannot use any one form of marketing anymore without being aware of what the other ones are. So, in order to hear my name, you may not remember me after today. However, you can go to Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn. People don't normally do business with me until they have checked me out. I want to make sure that the information that I have out in the public is relevant to what their needs are, because I need to be where my audience is to grow my business. The same thing with you. But email marketing is still, as I said earlier, the #1 method of communication. We have lots of viable. Michelle's going to talk about videos. Kim is going to talk to us about direct mail and billboard marketing. We have to know what is available to us because our businesses depend upon our exposure. After the exposure, then it depends, of course, upon our integrity and our service. But if they don't know you're there, it doesn't matter what you do, right? So what is email marketing? When you think of email marketing, in some cases, you may actually think of your Outlook. And how many of you have gotten an email that has a CC and a list this long, and by the time you get through the list, you don't care anymore? It's not appropriate marketing when you send out an email appropriate for business purposes. If you're sending an internal memo, send it. If you're talking to your board of directors, you can do that. This is a confidential thing. When you're doing business, look good. Send to one disclosed person, not an entire list. So the idea is to send professional email communication, #1, to an interested audience based on their valuable interests. What do they want to hear? What do you have to say that makes people want to listen? That's where email marketing becomes powerful, powerful. So why not use Google or Outlook? #1 reason is that Google, Outlook, Gmail, Earthlink, Bell South, the list goes on and on and on, will limit you to, in many cases, less than 75, some less than 40, all less than 100 emails. So if you have a substantial list, you're either going to have to do it multiple times. It will be text only, like what you're seeing right in front of you. It's not very dynamic. How many of you love to sit down and read things all day long? Yeah. We need pictures. We need eye candy. We need, now, stay with me here. You want something that makes the eye physically comfortable. Words don't do that. We need the words for the content, but you need to capture someone's attention. So professional email that has content that has some pictures, videos. Video is the #1 thing that people watch, even stupid videos. Because our eyes enjoy that, it is comfortable, and it takes us away. It's like a Calgon moment in video. Takes you away for a moment. This is where your emails can be, that same information you saw in text before has now been transformed into something literally pleasing to the eye, and oh, I may want to read more about this. The other thing that you can do with professional emails using an email service provider is provide calls to action. We want people to have our information, but if they don't do anything with the information, they do not benefit, nor do we. Correct? So, getting you to do this was a call to action. We want people to do something. All you have to do is tell them what you want them to do. So in an email, if you provide a blurb, don't give away the whole story. I tell this to my grandchildren. I have some teenagers. I said, you know, it's a little too soon. Don't give it all away yet. Keep the mystery, the mystique. You'll get there. But believe me, it will build interest like you will never believe. Same thing with your message. I know you knew what I was talking about. So when you provide information, you give enough to create interest. If they want to know more, click here, read more, tap to call me, watch this, give them something to do. The more they do, the more engaged an audience you have. Would you agree? Okay. You also will improve your reputation. Reputation marketing isn't something we're talking about today, but I will tell you, in today's world, it is everything. All you need is one person to get a little bit ticked off, or even just be snotty, and they can go into Google and they can rate you. They can go to a ripoff report and file something that is totally erroneous. You must watch your reputation. If you have a business that provides a service that people can rate on Foursquare, even Urban Spoon, you will find, and I know you're not restaurants, however, if you have, on the positive side, Central Florida Regional Hospital, I have been a guest there on numerous occasions. They have a wonderful cafeteria, an amazing chef. I have held business meetings there. The bike rides we used to hold there all the time because the chef was amazing. What I do when I go someplace now is, this is always with me. Is there anybody here that doesn't carry this? Do business on this. Your email should be able to be read here. Share people's ideas right here. So every piece of information that you get, people are, if they go, this is great. I know so-and-so at such and such a place that could really benefit. Let me share this. Let me post this socially. You don't normally can be able to post an Outlook or Google or something type of email socially. But with a professional email service provider, not only can your audience post, but you can post. So you can put it right there, and maybe you've liked Anthony Robbins, who has 1 million people, and his audience now is going to see that. They're not on your list. You didn't have permission to market to them, but you can post on their site. So that's a little key there, how to get a bigger list. How do you get and keep clients? From the very get-go, meeting someone, whether it is another business person that you want referrals from, whether it is a client that you need to bring in, business to business, or business to consumer. The average is 5 to 10 times contacting that person with different methodologies. 7 being the optimal number, so let's cover this. We know that some people are impulse type personalities. They love what you have to say. They just want to be near you. They almost stalk you. They'll buy anything that comes out of your mouth, anything that you suggest, they're there, okay? How many of those do you need or want? Even though they're buying, that person may buy once. That's not, keep going. Keep working for the bigger audience. Others will research and ask you questions. When they ask you questions, you need to be able to reach back to them, correct? This is another point of contact. Some people show interest, but they don't trust what you're saying. I personally argue with my doctor all the time. I think he hates me because I don't take anything he says face value. When I was in church as a little girl, they used to teach us to study to show ourselves approved. I've done the same thing with my parents who love me, but they're tired of why? So I research, but I'm going to stick with you if you have my attention. Everyone needs to trust their practitioner, their therapist, their medical person, whoever's providing that service to them. How do you build trust? By building a relationship. You build relationships by getting people to pay attention to what you're saying. They may never meet you personally. You may talk to, I have clients in Spain, Denmark, South America, other parts of the country that I get to communicate with, some of them only by email because there's so many of them. How about a Facebook group? I have Facebook group friends that I love. I've never met, I've never spoken to. We have a very large reach in the world today. But you build trust by continuity, a consistent message, integrity in what you say, and to be able to maintain and follow through with whatever you're offering. Keep them engaged. The word engagement today, I am an engagement marketer. And using this word means in today's world, we don't have to always reach out and find them. We place ourselves strategically in certain spots, and we want people to find us. We want to engage them to the point where they want to know more. Now, once I have your attention, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to be able to keep your attention? So email marketing is a fabulous methodology for doing this. So how do you build your list? Let me talk to you about the Can-Spam Act. If you get someone's business card and have not said to them, may I add you to my email list, but they have an email on their business card, and you email them anyway, you have just spammed them. That's a fine line, and it's so very irritating. I meet lots and lots of people. I do lots of presentations, and I let everyone know, if you give me your business card, that you will probably get an email from me because I'm asking you right now, are you willing to receive more information from me? If you don't want to get it, please don't give me your business card. So I'm getting your permission. However, what are other ways of doing that when you don't meet people? How many of you have a receptionist or a gatekeeper or front desk person at your business? First point of contact that represents you. Even though you're out in the field, you're marketing, you're doing things, that person, that friendly face, that wonderful voice, that personality still represents you to the person that's calling. But that person can also be an advocate for you. That person can ask for people's email address. May we communicate with you by email? Would you like to get our updates? We're holding workshops. Would you like to know when they are? That's a wonderful person. Buy them cookies, flowers, whatever they want, because they can be a wonderful asset for you. You're at events and you're at meetings. You get that information from people. You want to be able to use the information. It's not often that we're going to carry, if I carried all the business cards that I get, I'd have a book. That business card, and people spend fortune on business cards. They're beautiful, they're great. Is there anything on that business card that you can take action on? You can't tap anything, you can't do anything, so you're going to either keep the information someplace else, then throw that away. My business card has a QR code on the back of it, so it has a little bit longer shelf life, but I put that particular QR code on a flyer that's on your table, and that QR code gives you a way to join my email list, so you can do that freely if you'd like to. How many of you have websites? Are they company websites, or do you have something replicated that you can have people join your list, your mailing list, your contact list? If you don't, and you set up a landing page that will go to your company's website, if they'll let you do this, just a tip here, take notes, these are good. You have a landing page and you put just enough information about you, what you do, what you can do for people. Keep it simple, keep it brief, because they don't want to read too much, they like pictures. Put a video, and put a join my list button. This is your list. This is your marketing opportunity, and then link to your company's website. Good way to build your own list. Do you have guest books? I walk into a lot of businesses now, and the front desk, the receptionist is there. Again, I'll go back to my doctor. I have my sign-in sheet, and there's a guest book. Why would they have a guest book at the doctor's office? Doctors have to market their business. It's like churches. We want to think of our church, our doctors, they are providing a service, they are meeting our needs. It's still a business. They have to pay the bills, they have to keep the doors open, they need to pay their employees. Their malpractice insurance is not cheap. Have you been to a wedding or a funeral, either one, where you have not signed a guest book? For the people that have lost a loved one, a guest book is a wonderful way for them to reach out and say thank you. However, who gets the guest book before it goes back to the family? The funeral home. These are people that also will market to other people that may lose a lost one. They send out things like, oh, before you go. But that's good marketing. I respect that. The website sign up, want to do that. Let's go back to the middle one. In your emails that you send out through your Outlook, Google, Yahoo, whatever, do you have a join my list? Subscribe now? Okay, think of those things. Let me move on. Here's a join our email list. Get people's permission, please. Remember, you're going to get a copy of this if you ask for it, so you'll be able to read more. What do you want to do with your emails? Do you want to promote? Do you want to inform? Do you want to relate to people? Do you want to offer a special? Do you want to hold a workshop? Do you want to take registrations and have people pay, and they walk in the door and everything is done? That's email marketing. But know what you want to accomplish. How should my email look? If you have a logo, you have a website, you have a brand, protect that brand and make everything look as similar as possible. Use the same colors. You can't do that again with your Outlook, your Gmail, your Yahoo, da-da-da-da. But you can when you use an email service provider. When? How often? Great question. I get it all the time. Every time people ask me, and in the droves, it's going to change, and I'll tell you why. In this past year, Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock were optimal times to send out emails. When everyone in the world starts sending out emails between 9 and 1 o'clock, you have just lost your optimal window. So change it up. Don't play by those particular rules. Know your audience. Do you have a working audience? Are they going to read the emails before work, after work? Do they have smartphones? Watch your audience. Find out when you can get to them. Send whenever you need to get a message out. Don't oversend. I love Rotary dearly. However, there's one club that's doing an event, and I got 72 emails yesterday. I called the guys at the club. I said, guys, what are you doing? They were all hitting Facebook from their Facebook page. This is a good club. You get that many people participating in some sort of an outreach. But 72 in one day, here's what I did. Delete, 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 delete. I do not even know what it said. I didn't have time. Okay. What you want is maximum impact with minimum intrusion. So think about it. Plan what you're doing. And I will remind you, people don't think of us near as often as we think they do, or we certainly want them to. So you want to be in front of their eyes as often as you can in a very permission-based, pleasant, informative way. Otherwise, they will delete, delete, delete. The number one reason people will delete you is the from line. They don't know who the email is from. They don't recognize the name. Use your company. If you are marketing in your own name, use your name on the from line. The second number one reason that people will delete you is the subject line. It's dull as dirt. If you put July newsletter, delete. If you put the topic of that newsletter and it's of interest to them, they will read it. Or they'll save it and come back to it later because they trust the information that you send. If you put something that is totally unrelated to what is in the content, you'll be marked as spam. There are spam spiders all over the world that are reading. Is the same word here as in the subject line? For some reason, Google, which dominates everything, doesn't want our emails to go through. They're protecting you. Be careful, but make your subject line, you can make it funny, you can make it shocking, you can make it controversial. You can use a number, 5 reasons for this. But again, something they'll remember. If they can't get past the subject line, your message is lost. Spam speak, all capital letters, too much punctuation, inappropriate words, dollar signs, the words free. All capital letters now in texting is yelling, correct? My kids will say, why are you yelling at me? And I haven't said a word. But I sent a text and I capitalized something, and it's just, be careful with those things because this is the new language of technology. Our number one measurement of our success has typically been dollars. Are we making money? Are we making a lot of money? Are we making enough money? But if you have people that work with you and for you and around you, and your time is valuable, measure your efforts and have a way to track those efforts. So here's the key to it all. Email plus social equals success being guaranteed. But be able to post these things socially and use videos. So Michelle's going to go over that because I'm very excited about that. I use videos as much as I can. I take videos with this. I'll take a 10-second video, I'll post it. I was at an event last night, watched a young woman receive Youth of the Year at the Boys and Girls Club in Volusia County. Made me cry. Her speech was amazing. She inspired me. I posted that on Facebook. I got 25 likes in less than 3 hours. People will watch videos. Use this to do that. So, pack a powerful punch. Use email, learn about email. I thank you. I appreciate it. Please write down your questions. I will be glad to answer them. Let me know if you want the presentation, the elongated version, so you can get more. And we've got some best practices for you. I also have 527 subject lines that makes people look. If you want to know more about that, let me know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for helping MOROF get the message out.
My pleasure.
We'll go
Thanks for
viral
having
with
me.
you. All right, and we're going to segue. Kim, let's talk a little bit about billboards, direct mail, and fill us in as to how to tie this in with the email too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Here today to talk about billboards and direct mail, and the theme is going to kind of be a 3-mile radius around a single medical practice. How to target those people that are most likely to become your regular patients. So in this world that we live in, we can choose. This is the Orlando TV market, and it's 9 counties. It's Orange, Seminole, Volusia, Brevard. It's a huge area. And when you buy a broadcast TV spot or radio spot, you're marketing to people in a 9-county area. What we're going to talk about this morning is the opposite of that. How do we market to a very small area right around your medical practice? This is a 3-mile radius around Winter Park, and it just kind of shows you how you can concentrate on that 3-mile radius. We're going to talk about community advertising, targeting people who are most likely to become regular patients, how billboards can target a single location medical practice, and how direct mail can do the same. This is going to be a visual, so the screen on the left a little bit, we're going to show you some examples of how billboards work and how medical practices use them. And I started off with this one because if you look at the bottom right down here, it says, instead of saying 3 miles ahead, it says 3 smiles ahead. So that's pretty clever for a dental office to use that. Their idea is they want to reach the people that are in their area, 3-4 mile radius, that are most likely to become new patients and regular patients. Same way with the family medicine billboard. You're going to target an area that's very close to your particular practice. Again, with a family doctor, the idea is let me pick out the area where I want to draw from, and if I can find a strategic billboard in that area, it should work good for me to bring me a steady stream of new patients. And this is a billboard that was up in Altamont Springs for after-hour pediatrics. They kind of target 3 different offices with billboards in Orlando, one on Maitland Avenue in Altamont Springs, another one in the Dr. Phillips area, and another one in Hunters Creek. And if you see down here, it says left on Maitland Avenue. So they're very much using the directional approach with the billboard to let people see where they are. What they get is, a lot of times because of commuting habits and shopping habits, it's the same people day in and day out that drive by this billboard. So think of all this. Think of what happens over a period of 3 or 6 months, how many impressions you get, and that's what makes it work. It's out there all the time. It's the constant presence. It's the repeated exposures that makes outdoor advertising work. This is kind of cute. This is Dr. Locke out in the Oviedo, Waterford Lakes area. He's been using billboards for years and years and years, and he's always changing up his creative. So he might have this one up for 3 or 6 months, and the next time around he comes up with something really cute. And he's been using outdoor for 6 or 7 years and has really used it to grow his practice. He's a single location orthodontic dentist, and kids with braces. It's fun. It's a fun subject to have on a billboard. Here's a different approach. Kids and dogs, they're all cute. They work good on billboards. Here's a different approach, kind of a call to action, a $20 exam, $49 vaccinations, and a house call for $39. Wow, house call for $39. On a billboard, sometimes you can't put too much information, so this doctor has chosen not to even put the name of the doctor on the billboard. He's just saying he's your low-cost vet, here's the phone number, and here's how to reach him. So with billboards, you have to be, the billboard's kind of the opposite of direct mail and how much copy you can put on them. On a billboard, you really have to put a small amount of copy so people can read it. We're going to get into direct mail where you can put a lot more information on it. But the idea is still going to be the same. How do I market that area 3 to 5 mile radius around my location? This is Dr. Merchant, and with 2 locations down around Dr. Phillipson and Kissimmee. And again, it says Merchant's Pediatrics a half mile ahead on the left. And it's that constant presence. He's been up for a couple years down on Turkey Lake Road and finds that this gets him a steady stream of new patients. And that's what's important, advertising that works. Today, in the billboard world, we're only talking about bulletins. So we have digital billboards, we have posters, we have malls, we have airports. There's all types of ways to do outdoor advertising. Outdoor advertising is one of the oldest forms of advertising. If you go back 300 or 400 years, people used to paint signs on the side of barns, and that's how outdoor advertising began. That's really, truly one of the oldest forms of media, older than actually newspapers. So we're just concentrating on bulletins. Bulletins are either 10 by 36 or 14 by 48. They deliver high reach and frequency. They have dominant creative impact. It sustains your name and image awareness, and they are bold, larger than life. They are really, really big, and that's what helps people be able to see them as they're driving by. Clear Channel Outdoor has 763 bulletins in Metro Orlando, from Sanford up here in the north, Kissimmee in the south, Waterford Lakes east, going out to Ocoee, Winter Garden in the west, and everything in between. Just some more examples of how people use this, big and bold. This was promoting Eyeglass World and eye exams out in Waterford Lakes, and it says turn left on Alafaya in front of Home Depot. So people see it day in and day out. And probably 50% of the people out there are overdue for an eye exam at any given point in time. So imagine how many people you can draw in when you're reaching this many people daily with your message. This is just I'm going to give you a few more examples of different types of practices. This is an oncology institute. And everybody kind of goes, ooh, when they see this one, because that's what, maybe you can't see it on the screen, but it's not pretty. But this is an example of a podiatrist using a billboard. And everybody, you just put a simple message up there if you're not advertising toenail fungus, which is kind of ooh, but you could just put a big sign up there that says feet hurt. And there's probably half the people out there whose feet hurt, so they respond to the billboard. It's not rocket science, it's very simple, straightforward marketing. And here's our sumo wrestler. This is an ad for a medical weight management doctor who's getting a little creative. It looks like the sumo guy's kind of making the billboard bend down, so you can get very creative with what you do on a billboard. And then we got the big boys. So we're going to go back to the 9-county area again. So we talked about targeting around a 3-mile radius of your 1 or 2 location medical practice. The big boys are going to the 9 counties. So this is Florida Hospital advertising a 60-minute ER, and they probably have 20 billboards up in Metro Orlando and the 9-county area at any given point in time. This is Orlando Regional, but they're using it just to promote one particular location. So this was on I-4 near the Longwood exit, and the doctor's pointing you towards South Seminole Hospital, 2.5 miles east on State Road 434. So even the big boys do come down and promote single locations with outdoor. And the last hospital slide, this is up right now. It's a new promotion that Florida Hospital's doing. They're talking about they have 88 emergency rooms and 21 urgent cares. And they are encouraging you to download an app so that you can see the wait times and other information on all 29 of these locations. That segues us into direct mail and back to our 3-mile radius, theme that we're talking about today. This is a 3-mile radius of downtown Orlando, and in that 3-mile radius, there's 73,000 mailable addresses. It's huge. A lot of people don't realize how many households and people live in a 3-mile radius of their doctor's office or whatever type of business you have. Now, it changes a little bit in Winter Park. That 73,000 drops to 59,000 in a 3-mile radius. And up in Lake Mary, where it's not as densely populated, where the lots are bigger, it's 26,000 people in a 3-mile radius. But it's still a lot of people. So if you're a medical practice in Lake Mary, you can do really well marketing to those 26,000 people in your 3-mile radius. You could go out and do a 5-mile radius. It doesn't have to be 3 miles. 2 reasons direct mail campaigns work best in a 3-mile radius. Community. The more convenient you are to the patient, the more appealing you become. People talk to each other. They have health problems. They talk to their neighbors. And if someone says, go see Dr. Smith, he's right down the street, you would be more willing to do that than drive across town, especially if you're sick. Branding and name recognition. There's a growing school of thought on direct mail that it's much more effective to hit a smaller target area repeatedly, I had a tough time with that word, instead of sending it to a large list with only one campaign. So some people will go out there and think with direct mail, okay, I want to go out just once and I want to hit a 10-mile radius. And direct mail works better with repetition. You're better off doing 3 or 4 mailings to a 3-mile radius than you would be 1 mailing to a 10-mile radius. Both can cost the same, but repetition creates results. Keep that in mind. Limited success on an initial campaign may just mean that you've got to go back to them a few times to achieve the results. In combination with direct mail, you should represent your practice within the community, at public events, and through volunteer activities. This solidifies your branding and gives you your new contacts while establishing a positive fixture in the community. Something relatively new from the United States Post Office, every door direct mail. It used to be when you wanted to do a mailing, you had to buy a label and you had to pay 28 cents for bulk postage, or you had to pay 46 cents for first class mail postage, like you would when you mail a letter or bill. The post office is now offering everyday direct mail, every door direct mail for 16 cents. So it's really come down in price. So it's one of the few things that I can think of that the price is almost half of what it was before. So you really do need to explore of every door direct mail, and we can talk later about that if you would like. With every door direct mail, the post office has set up a website where you can go in and you can discover an effective way to meet local consumers. You can try a demo online. You can do some mapping online. You can actually go in and see exactly what a 3-mile radius. You can type in your address and it'll show you a 3-mile radius of your location. Every door direct mail even lets you pick the carrier route. The carrier route is what it sounds like. If the mailman who comes to your house has 500 places that he goes to every day, that's a carrier route. And that's the lowest common denominator you can buy. So if you don't want to buy all of zip code 32701 in Altamont Springs, you can buy, these are carrier routes that they've checked over here. They've checked off 2 carrier routes, one with 400 some and one with 900 and some. So this is the larger carrier route, and this is a smaller carrier route. This carrier route here is probably a walking carrier route, whereas this is probably a driving carrier route, because the mailman, depending on the density of the houses, they deliver different ways. But it's just wonderful. You can go online and pick out the exact carrier routes and the exact part of zip codes that you want to hit. So you reach every door direct mail. You can do it yourself, and your printer can help you with this, but you can do it yourself, and you can definitely save. Providers that get the best results with every door direct mail are chiropractors, cosmetic surgeons, dentists, diagnostic centers, general practitioners, family doctors, OBGYNs, etc. Specialists have special lists, and this is the kind of no hear, no see, no tell HIPAA. There are HIPAA-approved mailing lists. So this goes really targeted, meaning that there are ailment mailing lists that are HIPAA approved. So if somebody has allergy-related anxiety, asthma, back pain, hearing difficulty, any of these many ailments, you can buy a list of people who have opted in and said that they're willing to get more information via direct mail on these particular ailments. Attracting new patients. Patients can't come if they don't know about you, right? So getting the word out there is crucial. Anyone who is considering changing medical practice is likely to keep your direct mail piece until the next time he or she needs you. A successful campaign to promote, you can promote a new location, new doctors in your practice, new equipment, new services, carrying new insurance types, more convenient hours, seasonal checkups. Most people move right before a new school year and get checkup shots. This is a great way to advertise to new patients. And that's it on direct mail and billboards, and we're going to transition over to Michelle.
Yeah.
Hey, just before we do that, let's give it up for Kim.
Thank you.
And I hope when we get to the Q&A part, Kim, you might be able to reflect a little bit on those val packs, whether stuffing all your marketing literature in with a bunch of other people still works or,
That still works.
or not. So, all right, well, thank you very much, Kim.
Thank you.
And Michelle, let's finish up here and really bring us into this video, this part that everybody says in order to be successful on the web, you must have video as part of your presentation.
So true. And because of that, can I borrow your mic? I like to stand. How are you guys doing? Are you awake? Okay. All right, good. Hi. How are we doing? All right, good. Okay, so I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, how I ended up in front of you today. I am originally from New York, Staten Island, New York, and then I moved to New Jersey. I actually grew up in the Jersey Shore. And on top of that, I'm 100% Italian. So get all of the ideas out of your head. That is my only common denominator with all the reality shows that are coming up from the Northeast right now. I came down to Florida about 13 years ago to get my master's degree in broadcast journalism from the University of Miami. And ever since then, I have moved, 10 times in the past 10 years. And that's because as a journalist, you need to continue moving from market to market to market until you get your ideal job. And my goal market, my ideal job, was to be a morning anchor in Orlando, Florida. And that is exactly what I did. I worked very, very early in the morning. Who's up at 4:30 a.m.? I know. Trust me, that's exactly what I felt like at 2 o'clock in the morning when my alarm went off. 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then again from 9 to 10 a.m. And I did that with Fox for about 2 years. And Fox was a great experience because they have a different format than any other local news station here in Orlando. Their format and the way they differentiate themselves is with interviews. So I had the pleasure of interviewing politicians, senators, congressmen, doctors, healthcare providers, and I started to notice a trend as we were doing these interviews live on air. And that trend was that unfortunately, when they were on camera, they were so afraid of the red. Not this red, which is real, by the way. The red that's on the camera that says, hey, every word that I'm saying right now is live. It's going out to potentially millions of people. They just lost it. And I'm talking about highly educated individuals. So once I started to notice that trend, I also noticed that there was an opportunity there. So that is what I do today. I am no longer a news anchor. I teach people how to get on the news and then how to excel when they are there. And by the way, getting on the news is free. News stations do not pay for the talent that you see unless it's an employee. So when you see a talking head, those people are not paid to be there. The doctors that you guys represent, you don't have to pay to have them on the news. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And we're starting off, if I can get this going, with video marketing, because actually video marketing is the first step to get media exposure, and I'm going to explain why. So once you start off with video marketing, you're not going to just leave all of these videos on your websites. You're going to put them on your social media platforms, and then eventually they're going to be get on the news media, and we're going to go through that process so you can understand it. Okay, so YouTube. How many people have videos, by the way, on their website? Let's take a poll. There's got to be more than that. Okay, please. All right. Let me enlighten you. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Second largest search engine. 100 million people watch online videos every single day. People in the United States alone watch 9 billion videos each month, billion with a B. And here is the future, ladies and gentlemen. 80% of all internet traffic will be video by 2015. That's not far away. So everybody who didn't raise their hands right there or afraid to, look at the marketplace that you're missing out on. This is where it's happening. This is where you could grow your practices. Speaking of practices, how many people here are representing a doctor's office or do marketing for a doctor's office? Okay. How many people are service providers for those different entities? Okay. All right, video marketing examples. You would think that we shared our scripts today because we're using the same words. We did not, and that just goes to show you how important all this information is because we're talking about engagement. Just like Donna mentioned, it is all about engagement. If you do not capture your viewer's attention in the first 10 seconds of video, done. They're out of there. They don't care. You have to capture their attention. So how do you do that? You have to establish your practice's talking points. Everybody thinks it's so easy when you're on camera just to spill out your 30 years of expertise. Guess what? You have to do it in 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Can you do it? If I put you on the spot right now, would you be able to do it? Look at everybody so nervous right now that I'm going to go up to them. Don't worry, I'm not going to go up to them. I know. Should I do it? No, it's all right. All right, you have to create rapport, right? And you have to be able to sell your company in 3 sentences. We were talking about really the email distribution is almost like a business card, right? Way to market. This is your visual business card. You have to be able to sell your company in 3 sentences. So video marketing examples, and I actually brought some to show you.
Central Florida Retina is a practice here located in downtown Orlando. It also has 2 other main offices in Daytona Beach as well as Rockledge, Florida. We currently have 5 physicians on staff here. We have a combined over 100 years of experience between all 5 physicians. Our focus tends to be on disorders of the retina and vitreous, so we tend to see and treat lots of patients with macular degeneration. Or I believe the first practice in Central Florida to inject aquaplasmin, which is also known as Jetrea, which is the first and only FDA-approved injection directly into the eye for the treatment of macular holes. And that was just recently done by one of the partners here in the practice. Recently had a patient who came to me with severe vision loss from diabetic bleeding, and we just performed surgery and came back to see me recently and has recovered significant vision. And that's just one small example of sort of the work that we do here in Central Florida Retina. A little personal satisfaction of all the years of training and hard work to get to this point. So it's always a good thing when you get a smile or a hug at the end of a visit. That's all the payment you need.
But because you're in healthcare, there are so many different avenues that you could take to use video. You could have a welcome video. Welcome video on your website, mandatory, okay? You have to be able to create that rapport. Everybody should have video. As a matter of fact, we're redoing mine right now. Educational videos. What is your practice, what is their expertise? Are they dermatologists? Talk to me about skin cancer. When you have these videos up, you're not going to leave them on the website. You're going to be promoting them. Treatment videos. How do you deal with skin cancer? What are my options? I'm scared. I'm a patient. I'm looking for a new doctor. Why am I going to be able to trust you? Why? Because I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your doctors, and I'm already saying to myself, do I like this guy? Do I want him to treat my sick child? It's creating rapport. New procedure videos, email marketing videos, as Donna was mentioning, testimonial videos, so important. Okay, now this is my favorite part, because we're gonna talk now about how that video marketing piece can lend to media exposure. So this is your crash course, News 101. I do this in several hours, but again, we're doing it in 5 minutes, so enjoy. All right, there are 210 television markets across the United States of America. Number one, guesses? New York. Very good. Oh, well, smart. That master's degree really came in handy. All right, number 210 is Glendive, Montana, with 4,000 homes, okay? It has a population of about 4,500. 4,050 homes have televisions in them, and that is the last market in the United States. Not fun to work in. So where does Orlando lie? I know I pulled up the number already, but most people do not realize the potential that this I-4 corridor has. As business owners, you need to know that Orlando is market 19 in the country. That means that we, as Kim was saying, this is our DMA. This is the map. We cover 9 counties. In those 9 counties, we reach 1.45 million homes. But look at what happens when you just take that short ride down I-4. This is the Tampa market. And Tampa is actually bigger than Orlando. Tampa has 1.8 million homes inside that market. So when you combine Orlando and Tampa, we're at number 4. Number 4 in the country. That is incredible reach that you have available to your practice. Market 4, by the way, is Philadelphia, just so you can have a comparison. New York, LA, Chicago, and then Philly. Oops, okay. Okay, media training, which lends to media placement. Why did I just tell you how many homes you could reach? Why did I just tell you you could reach more than 3 million homes? That's a pretty outstanding number, right? If that doesn't impress you, here's something that will. Every single day, the news in this market, just Orlando now, the news in this market has to generate 30.5 hours of news per day, okay? ABC, between ABC and their sister station, they have 9. NBC and their sister station, 8.5. CBS, 4.5. And Fox 35, 8.5, okay? Of fresh content every single day. That means they got a lot of time to fill. Can you imagine the producers, how overloaded they are, thinking about, what am I gonna do to fill all of this time? It's daunting, and it has to be local. I think you're gonna realize where I'm going with this. Okay, so when you are talking to your doctors in your practice, when you are saying, we gotta do something to up the game here, because there's more competition than ever before. My friend just told me today that she is finding her pediatrician by going on YouTube. I said, are you kidding me? She said, well, my friend recommended this guy, but I had to research him out, so I just looked to see if he had some video on YouTube, and I saw him, I like the guy, so I'm gonna go. All right, all the more power to you. Proves my point, doesn't it? So when your videos are on YouTube, guess what? You just created a headline for yourself. All the people that you represent, the doctors and the other services that you provide, you are your own news trend. It can't be any easier than health, okay? The only other one that's just as easy right now is consumer, okay? And dealing with the economy. So some health headlines I pulled just yesterday so you could see what's going on. Sequester is what NBC was covering, how it's impacting healthcare. Also CBS covering the sequester, which starts tomorrow. Tomorrow. Why am I repeating that? It's a news trend. Start thinking, who can you pitch to news agencies? And Fox News was covering Teledoc, and I pulled the video. Are you guys familiar with Teledoc? No. We'll watch the video after the presentation. It's going to be interesting. It could be another way for the doctors in your practice to earn some more income. Okay, so you do your videos, you post them on social media sites, and here's the important part where it comes full circle. Guess what some people do for a job? Their sole purpose in their professional life is to book stories. They are called booking producers or planning producers. Every single day, they need to fill the 30.5 hours of news content in the Orlando market. They're planning ahead. They know exactly they know the sequester is tomorrow, starting tomorrow, if something doesn't happen in DC today. They're already thinking, who are we going to have on the show that has expertise that could talk about sequester? How many people here are excited about Obamacare in 2014 coming full force? Let's not talk politics, but that is an opportunity. Who is going to be able to talk about the different changes in insurance? Okay? Start thinking. Who can you pitch to media outlets? So when they see your videos on YouTube, they love it because it does half the work for them already. They already know just by watching your video, is this guy engaging on camera? Are they able to take these monstrous ideas? You know how doctors, forgive me if you're in the room, medical speak. It goes like this. You can't have that on TV. You got to break it down to easily understandable terms. And you can't do it on the fly. You got to know your answers before you get asked the question. And the last thing is, are they available? If they're local, are they available? Because we're doing this story, like it or not, tomorrow. I know we're wrapping up here. So this is what I want you to ask yourself after you leave this presentation. Are you using video marketing to its potential? Are you pitching your videos to the media to increase your practice's credibility? Because again, it is free. You don't have to pay to be on the news. And do you know how to communicate your practice's message in 15 seconds or less in an engaging way? Because here's what happens. After a newscast, we go into an editorial meeting. You have the news anchors there, the show producers, executive producers, assistant news director, possibly the news director. And you go around the room and you say, it was Sally's first day talking about healthcare. Did you like her? Yeah, she was all right. Did you like her? No, I didn't really like her. Done. You're on the X list. You're not coming back. You literally only get one shot at success, and you have to be your best spokesperson. That was pretty quick, right? Whew, I did it. Thanks, everybody. If you have any questions, I certainly will stay. Here's my contact information and every other social media outlet known to man.
15 seconds up for the shot. Well, we've got a few minutes to take questions from our panel. We're on flex time here at MOROF, so even though it may be close to 9 o'clock, we usually run 10 or 15 minutes long to be able to take in these different questions. Feel free to step out if you have to at this particular time. And you can always refill your coffee in place. All right, so we probably have some questions for our panel. I'd like to just start off with one, and that is really, Donna, you let us off on the email marketing. Please talk about 2 or 3 messages that a doctor's office will send out to their patients that they've already have as patients, that they're keeping as patients. What are 2 or 3 email messages they may send out to stay in front and engage with their existing patients, and how do they do it?
Number 1 is always a thank you. To say to someone that we appreciate your business, your loyalty, we look forward to seeing you come back, and using their name. People love to hear their name. Perfect. Another one is to say, if you refer us, we will do something for you. You might get $10 off of your next office visit. you've given them a reason to tell someone else something positive. The other one is always to educate. Let people know what they need to know. And they don't know what they need to know, so tell them, but educate people. So you're providing either workshops, you're making announcements, or you're doing an educational piece that gives them a blurb. I have rheumatoid arthritis. Anything that I can read about that, I do, but I don't want to see it all in one thing. So that's that call to action. So thank them, ask for referrals, and educate them.
Great. Thank you, Donna. So do we have some other questions from our gathered guests here, please?
I was just wondering you mentioned that there were specialty HIPAA-approved lists. How do we find out more about that?
Through a list vendor, or through a printer. And usually a printer would be the best place to go first, because the printer every day is printing things that he's attaching lists to and mailing them out. So the printer would be the best place to probably start. Any local printer can help you with lists. And Chuck can certainly help you with that.
Thanks, Kim.
Hi, I got a question with the video billboards. What are the regulations now versus, you'll see multiple scrolling ads versus actual video on them? Because I know there's been some controversy about people so-called distracted driving because they're watching these billboards. Where does that stand right now?
In the state of Florida, we don't have motion on our video billboards. So there are 8 8-second spots on a 64-second cycle. And that is a static message for 8 seconds. It does not, we're not allowed to have movement. And that's the Florida Department of Transportation laws. It's pretty much the same in every state. We do have a video board on the plaza downtown now that does have motion on it because it's considered to be a pedestrian board. So when you go to Times Square in New York, those are considered to be pedestrian and you do have motion.
Rodney, you have a question?
In the constant contact, or Donna, what's a good open rate as far as like on a newsletter or something that's being sent out? What would you consider to be a higher average open rate for newsletters? And then the other question would be on the videos, what's a good average length of video if you're trying to just spotlight something quickly on your website?
On the open rate, everybody wants to see 100%, but the typical rate and a good positive rate would be between 22 and 28%. There are many smart devices that people can read on, and they will not be considered an open. If people are reading them on social sites, it's not considered an open. So if you're having a good open rate, is between 22 and 28%.
And to answer the question about the videos, your introductory video should be no longer than 90 seconds. 90 seconds for that, and then also testimonials about 30 seconds long. I do have those videos that I mentioned at the top of my presentation available, but not to take any more time, you could come to me and I'll show it to you on my laptop after the presentation if you like.
Michelle, before we go to our next question from the audience, how long does it take to produce, from start to finish, training the people because they're afraid of that red light? How long does it take to do that 90-second message?
You would be amazed that it does take quite some time to get the key talking points down for your practice. Quite honestly, to answer that question, it depends if your practice has proper branding. If you know your talking points, it is much easier and a quicker process. If you don't know your talking points, then it's much longer.
So is that a day? Is that a day in the life, or is that 3 to 5 hours, or?
Between the shooting that my crew, who is awesome in the back, they can put an entire professional studio in your doctor's office. Setup time is a half hour, depending on if your people are there and ready and doing work and getting good video. We could be done in a 4-hour shoot. But if you don't know what to say on camera, then you need to go through some training.
Yeah, great. And a question here.
Yes, thank you. What is the typical price range for billboard ads?
Billboard ads generally range in the Orlando market from around $1,000 a month up to a premier billboard on Interstate 4, the best of the best, around $15,000 to $20,000 a month. But the type of billboards that I'm talking about today for individual medical practices on surface roads would probably be $1,000 to $3,000 a month.
Great, thank you. Michelle, we've talked about this. I just figured it's a softball question, but what's your feeling on autoplay videos on websites?
Oh, I hate them. How annoying is that? I don't recommend that at all. As a matter of fact, it's a turn off, not a turn on. That wasn't supposed to be sexual. But yes, don't do it. It's not a good practice.
Yeah, on your the videos that you said to do, like the intro and those, which one, if we had to pick one?
Introductory.
That's the most
Welcome.
important?
A welcome one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Other questions from our audience? All right, well, let's give it up for our panelists. They certainly gave us some marketing strategies. MOROF has a directory. If it's not on your table, it's probably as you leave. One of the questions came up as to who do you go to for these types of things, and certainly the members here are a resource. There's several different members here that can help you out. All right, so that's one of the things that you want to check out. Certainly, also on your tables, you have other information from MOROF. You have our nice little notebooks here. You'll find that they're highlighted for our Thursday events, those being the vendor meeting, the second Thursday of each month, the business after hours, third Thursday of each month, or third Thursday every other month, and then of course the meetings such as these for our providers, the fourth Thursday of each month. So you'll want to go to our website, morof.net, continue to check out the different activities and panelists and speaker presentations that we have going on. All right, are there any other questions? I'd like to just bring up our president of MOROF for a moment, Chuck Wright, to be recognized. Chuck, would you please come on up here? Each month, a lot of things are going on between our different committees, whether it be membership committee, events committee. We also have all of these different subgroups going on, and this is the Wizard of Oz, our main man, Chuck Wright.
I don't know if I'm the wizard, but it's a network of people that come together to provide those services for medical offices. And we always say the more voices we have, the better we all can be heard. So with that being said, everybody should join us on our open LinkedIn group and get on our website and sign up for our newsletter. Thank you all for coming out today.